Hi guys, welcome back to another video. You can see from the title exactly what this video is. Baby names that we love but won't be using. So, I'm usually on the sofa for these kind of videos, but Juno is sleeping in her room and the lounge is a little bit closer. So today you've got me in the kitchen. I'm having our second baby in October, if you didn't know, if you haven't seen me before. I'm pregnant with my second baby. I already have a daughter called Juno and we're having another little girl in October. So the first name on the list is Maple. I love it. I think it's beautiful, but Phil isn't 100% keen, and obviously she is our daughter, so we both need to be completely sold on the name. But yeah, I just think that name's really sweet because maple trees are like really beautiful in autumn, and she's going to be born in autumn, and all the colours are just so gorgeous. And yeah, I just think it's such a lovely name. But I do think one of Phil's reasons is that it's quite easily mistaken for Mabel, and I don't mind that because I also quite like the name Mabel, but the name would actually be Maple. So yeah, that is one that, well, I love, but we definitely won't be using. The next name that we love but won't be using, we actually love so much that we thought that we were going to use it for about a month, is Sylvie. Now, we have decided against it because we just don't know if it fits with Juno very well and if it fits our family. It's a beautiful name and we love it, and we might use it in the future if we were to have more children, more girls, but it doesn't feel right for this baby. And it doesn't really roll off the tongue for me, specifically. Like Sylvie doesn't feel really natural saying it. So a beautiful name, but not the one for this baby girl. Next up is a flower name, and that is Poppy. Always loved the name Poppy. Think it's absolutely beautiful. Phil really likes it too. However, we used to call my grandpa Poppy, and I just don't think, although that's cute and it's a lovely meaning, it just doesn't feel right. And I think if you're pregnant, sorry, I'm just looking over here because I'm checking Juno on the monitor. If you're pregnant and you really love a name but you're using it, sometimes it just doesn't feel right. And I can't explain, like I do really love the name Poppy, and I really love the idea of having a flower name. So Poppy, Rose, something like that, but it just doesn't feel right this time round. But it is really high on the list. I do think it's a gorgeous name. So the next one is a name that we actually had as a backup for Juno as well, and that is Dolly. I think it's really sweet and so cute. However, my issue with the name Dolly is pretty silly. My top's like bunching up. It's pretty silly, but basically my first baby Juno was quite a big girl. She was 10 pounds 8 when she was born. And when I first saw her, she did not look like a little petite Dolly. I love her to bits and she is absolutely perfect. But she wasn't, how do I say this? She wasn't a dolly. She wasn't dainty and small and precious. She was very strong, and she deserved a strong and powerful name like Juno. And I think that will come with our future children as well. I can't imagine having a really pretty name. I think similar for me as well, like my name's Frankie and I love my name, but it's a strong name. It's not a pretty and dainty name. And I think as a bigger woman and a strong woman, I prefer a name like that rather than having sort of like a softer name. I guess that's what I'm trying to say about Dolly, is that I think it's just a bit soft maybe, but it's beautiful, but a bit too soft for my girls personally. The next name kind of falls into that category a bit as well. I've always had this name on my baby list for girls. I think it's beautiful and I think it's lovely because it's two syllables and you can shorten it to either end of the name. So the name is Primrose. So I love that you can shorten it to Prim. I love that you can shorten it to Rose. Like, this little girl could choose who she wanted to be, choose her identity. That's wonderful. But again, I don't think it's the right name for us. I don't think it fits our family. I don't think it works with Juno and Primrose. I just don't think it's right. And maybe as our first baby it would have worked, but because this is our second, you have to kind of think about how the name goes with your first baby and if they suit and if they're similar. And Primrose and Juno to me are two just very different girls and girls' names. And not that your name identifies you at all, but it just doesn't feel, I feel like I'm going to say this about every name, it just isn't the right one for us. But it is absolutely gorgeous and I love it, and it'll probably always stay on my list. And maybe if we have 4 girls, one day there'll be a Primrose, who knows. So this last one is probably highest on the list, but I can't imagine that we're going to use it. We still are not 100% sure on a name. We've got a couple that I'm not going to tell you in case we use them, but this one actually probably fits into that category, and it could very well be that our daughter is named this, but we're not 100% sure, and that is Lola. I've always loved the name Lola. I think it sounds really lovely with Juno and Lola. I think that's really nice. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure. There's another 2, like I just said, that are quite similar to Lola that are the top runners for now. So I'm so out of breath. I've got like that pregnancy, like out of breathness. So yeah, I guess Lola, I do really love the name Lola. Maybe she will be called Lola, who knows. But yeah, it's definitely high on the list, but there's a couple of others that are a little bit higher that we haven't told anyone. Because I think it's really nice to keep that name to yourself when you're like growing them and like kind of, you don't know them yet, and it's really nice to kind of just test out names in situations and see how those names feel without other people kind of testing them out around you as well. I know we had that with Juno when we were pregnant with her. We sort of told people that that was our favourite name, and then people started to use it and we were like, well, we're not 100% sure yet, like we need some time. So this time around we decided not to tell anyone. So yeah, Lola is the last name. Lola is a beautiful name and it's very high on the list. And if we did have daughters in the future, then Lola will almost definitely be used because we do love it. We really do love the name Lola. So yeah, that's kind of it that's on the list. I think it's been a little bit more difficult this time because we're having another girl, and Juno was always the top runner, the name Juno. So, you know, when you're having another one, you have to find another top runner. So that's been difficult, but I do think we found a couple that are potentials. But you guys will not find out until she is born. I'm very sorry. But it could be one of these names. Maybe she'll be born and the names that we have don't suit her. So who knows? But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I definitely found these videos like so good when I was looking for baby names. Even like, I think I watched one when I was pregnant with Juno and someone said Juniper, and I was like, oh, I do really like Juniper, but I actually prefer Juno, and it just like sparks things in your mind. So I hope if you're pregnant that you're having a really good pregnancy, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. And stick around, subscribe, and stick around for other videos. There'll be 2 under 2 content coming in October. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have a toddler and a newborn. Am I crazy? Probably, but it'll be absolutely beautiful chaos. I can't wait. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next week for my weekly upload. Lots of love. Bye.